You woke up this morning and, before you even sat up in bed, you checked your phone. You didn't decide to do it. You just did it. And if you're being honest, you probably checked it again within the next 10 minutes. And again after that. Most people assume this is a discipline problem, a willpower problem, something you could fix if you just tried harder. But neuroscientists who study addiction and reward behavior have been looking at this for years, and what they found has nothing to do with willpower. It has everything to do with a system inside your brain that's about 100 million years older than the smartphone. Your brain runs on a chemical called dopamine, and almost everything people think they know about dopamine is wrong. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical, the thing your brain releases when something feels good. But that's not what it does. Dopamine is released in anticipation of a reward, not when you receive it. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz spent decades studying how dopamine behaves in the brain. What he found flipped everything researchers assumed. When a reward was guaranteed and expected, dopamine barely responded. But the moment there was uncertainty, the moment an outcome could go either way, dopamine surged. Your brain doesn't get excited by rewards. It gets excited by the possibility of rewards. And your phone is the most perfectly designed dopamine machine in human history. Every time you pick up your phone, you don't know what you're going to find. Maybe a message from someone you care about. Maybe nothing. Maybe something that makes you laugh. Maybe something that makes you angry. Maybe nothing again. That unpredictability is not an accident. It's the same mechanism that makes slot machines so hard to walk away from. The payout doesn't come every time. It comes sometimes, randomly. And that randomness is exactly what makes the pull so strong. Behavioral psychologists call this a variable reward schedule. And across decades of research, it has consistently proven to be the most powerful driver of repeated behavior that exists. Fixed rewards lose their pull quickly. Variable rewards, ones that come unpredictably, can hold behavior in a loop almost indefinitely. Your phone runs on a variable reward schedule every single minute of the day. Every notification could be something that matters. Or nothing. You don't know until you look, so you keep looking. But here's where it goes even deeper. Your brain was never designed to ignore potential social information. For most of human history, missing a social signal could mean being excluded from the group. And being excluded from the group, for our ancestors, often meant death. So your brain evolved to treat social information as urgent. A message, a mention, a reaction from another person. These things trigger the same ancient alarm system that once kept humans alive in groups. When your phone lights up with a notification, your brain doesn't process it as a mild curiosity. It processes it as potentially important social data that needs to be checked immediately. You're not weak for finding it hard to ignore. You were built to respond to it. There's a second layer that makes this even harder to break. Researchers studying habit formation found that behaviors become automatic when they're repeated in the same context enough times. You check your phone when you wake up. You check it when you're bored. You check it when you feel a moment of discomfort or silence. Over time, those contexts become triggers that fire the checking behavior automatically, before your conscious brain even registers what's happening. This is why you sometimes pick up your phone, and then realize you have no idea why you picked it up. You didn't choose to check it. Your brain ran the habit before you had a chance to think. The problem isn't that you lack discipline. The problem is that your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do by thousands of tiny repetitions you never consciously chose. And the moment you understand that, the solution becomes clearer. You don't fight the urge with willpower. You redesign the context. Researchers at University College London found that changing the environment around a habit, not fighting the urge directly, was significantly more effective at breaking automatic behavior. Put the phone in a different room at night. Take the social apps off your home screen. Add one extra step between you and the habit. Not because those steps make it impossible, Because your brain runs on the path of least resistance. Make the habit slightly harder to trigger, and the automatic pull weakens. You're not trying to be stronger than the system. You're changing the conditions the system needs to run. The average person checks their phone around 96 times a day, once every 10 minutes of waking life. That's not 96 choices. That's 96 automatic responses to a system that was carefully designed to produce exactly that behavior. And the first step to changing any automatic behavior is simply seeing it for what it is. Not a flaw in your character. A loop in your brain. One that can be interrupted once you know where it starts. So tonight, try one thing. Put your phone in a different room before you go to sleep. Not because you'll immediately feel better, but because your brain needs a new context to start building a new pattern. And tomorrow morning, notice what it feels like to wake up without reaching for it. That feeling, that slight discomfort, that low-level pull, that's the loop trying to run. Now you know what it is. And knowing is the first break in the chain. Comment below, how many times do you think you checked your phone today? I genuinely want to know.